Well, we go to the end of the month, and we're going to have, obviously, the NFL draft, and we're going to start covering the draft next week once we get beyond the Final Four. Chargers are looking for players to fill out their roster. They had a unique free agent visit. J.K. Dobbins was a really great running back at Ohio State, went to the Baltimore Ravens, did pretty well, then has had 2 major injuries. He's an unsigned free agent. They brought him in. They've talked to him extensively. He might be the guy that replaces Austin Eckler as the dart and dash, catch the ball out of the backfield running back. You already have the heavy-duty back in Gus Edwards. They're talking trade with Cincinnati. Tyler Boyd, who's a third receiver in Cincinnati, he's caught a lot of balls, not real happy. He wants to be traded. The Bengals want a high pick. I think the Chargers offered a third to get him. He's going to be a free agent in a year. He would obviously be one of the replacements for the Keenan Allen, Mike Williams departure. This week, Chargers visited yesterday Malik Neighbors, LSU, big-time speed guy, terrorist speed guy, 4.32 speed guy. Whoa. And the day before, they interviewed and brought in Marvin Harrison. And they're also scheduling visits with the tackles, Joe Alt, Notre Dame, Orlum Fashanu, Penn State, and a late one, Tao Fuiaga from Oregon State. So everybody's waiting to see what the Chargers are going to do. Are they going to stay at 5 and take the best player they want after the run on quarterbacks? Or would they trade from 5 and maybe go back to 10 or 11 because they could still get maybe some of these players at 10 or 11 and pick up additional picks? At this point, nobody knows what New England's going to do at 3, Arizona's going to do at 4, what the Chargers might do at 5. The Giants are now yakking about trading up. They want to be in a quarterback derby, and they're at 6. And then obviously you got the Vikings at 11, Denver at 12, and the Raiders at 13. So a lot of moving parts as we go towards the NFL draft. We'll cover it all for you in the upcoming weeks. And John Riley's response on the Bolts.
Oh my! Well, remember like a few months ago, we were talking about how the Chargers were going to have to cut a lot of players because of the salary cap. And that was before they increased the cap.
Yep.
And we speculated that, Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa might be gone and that they would have to use their draft picks to get a defensive lineman. Well, now they don't, right? So you still think they're going to go for the tackle, the Alt from Notre Dame?
If they're going to run the football, you're going to have another tackle. And that might be the guy. I think you can get receivers that you can find and develop in the second round and third round. And, they have, I think I figured it out last night. I want to say they have 4 of the top 90 picks.
Really?
So they're going to be able to find guys at those positions. But I think if they follow through on the comments that we are going to pound the ball to make Justin Herbert even more dangerous, then you got to have more tackles. You got a better offensive line. So those tackles they're visiting with this week and next week, Notre Dame, Penn State, and Oregon State. Those are the top 3 tackles on the board. So we'll see where this goes from this point on.
I wonder what Justin Herbert wants.
He wants talent.
Yeah. I mean, of all these players we discussed, I wonder who he wants the most.
Well, they got him the heavy-duty running back because that's what Gus Edwards is. That's a power back guy. And if they were to sign a Dobbins-type guy, then that's a third down back you throw to, and he can run some. He's like Eckler. And then you go into the draft, and you go get me a stud right tackle. And then in second round, go get me one of those wide receivers. There's a ton of speed guys who can catch balls that you can get in the second and third round, and you go from there. So we shall see. Hey, our podcast